Chain Reaction are long-term sponsors of Megavalanche, and we're always there chanting to riders and racers, capturing the carnage and generally just soaking up the beauty of outdoors. This year we wanted to take things to another level, capturing the epicness of the event, so we enlisted the help of Cut Media.
So the Mega by Day, Mega by Night concept kind of started out as almost a little bit of a joke. Kind of the Mega Avalanche is pretty mega to ride during the day. It's chaotic. There's snow, there's rocks, there's a huge descent from glacier down to the valley floor, and we were just like, well, how mega would it be to ride it at night? Riding at night, you're not going to see very much, so we had to figure out a way of lighting the riders as they went down the course. So we had this drone lighting concept that we'd explored for some previous projects in the past. It had never kind of come off, and we just thought that it would be a really interesting way to kind of elevate that day-night match gut concept, lighting the rider as they went down the trail at night with a drone following them from above with a light. We've seen a couple of mountain bike films use drone lights before, but certainly not in the sort of terrain that we were in. So when it gets colder, it really starts to affect the batteries, particularly on the drone. They need to be kept warm in order to get the optimum out of the batteries. So there was a few points where we'd put a new battery in the drone, stick it in the air, and the lights that's hung underneath would start to flicker. And it was just because the batteries were too cold. So we just had to work really quickly and adaptable and just get that drone back down, stick a new battery on as quick as we could that was warm, and stick it back up again. This wasn't the easiest project to plan, for sure. So we didn't get a chance to do an actual on-location recce for the filming, and when we were doing the initial planning, there was way too much snow on the course. It was covering most of the bike trails, so we wouldn't have been able to see very much anyway. But what we did use is really good use of helmet cam footage from previous races. We watched through far too much of sort of race footage from the helmet cams and matched up the time codes of sections that we liked from the helmet cams and on the course with locations on a Google map, placing pins, and that just really allowed us to dial in exactly sort of where we planned to shoot and where we're kind of hoping to go. So we started the shoot on the summit of Pic Blanc at the start of the Megavalanche route. That's at 3,330 meters above sea level. We got the last lift up and planned to shoot our day and night sequences during the times when no one else was going to be at the summit, no one else was going to be on the course. So we actually ended up staying overnight in an emergency chalet. There was 9 of us cramped around the floor of this chalet with no running water, just a little bit of electricity, microwave meals. Which is a pretty fun experience. But the conditions up there were challenging to shoot in. So at 3,300 meters, the wind really starts to play a factor into the drone, especially with flying a kind of custom-made light attachment underneath. It's much more exposed, the winds are much higher, and it just becomes much more of a challenge. It was pretty epic being at the top. You could see all the way through to Italy. At one point during the night, we could see a thunderstorm across in Italy, which eventually did make its way to us. On a scale of 1 to 10, I think the actual shooting at the summit was probably around a kind of an 8 or 9.
We met the crew after their first night of filming, and they looked absolutely wrecked. It was at this point I was wondering whether we'd bitten off more than we could chew, but we only had a very short window of filming time, so we had to crack on.
Straight off the summit, we went down to the bottom of Alpe d'Huez and straight back up to our next location for the rocks. So at this point, we'd probably been filming for quite a lot of the night. We'd had a little bit of a night's rest, but at 3,000 meters, you don't really sleep that well on the floor of a chalet. Everyone is quite tired by that point. But we met Louise, continued with Ronan, and just cracked on with filming our daytime sort of rock section. So between our 2 shoot days, we planned our 11 to 12 hours or downtime to allow for us to kind of prepare for the next day, to get some food, to most importantly sleep. But I think most of us have probably only got maybe 3 hours sleep in the end between the 2 night shoots. which meant going into the next second evening, everyone was very tired. And we went back to the rock section that we'd filmed at during the morning the day before. And we were effectively doing a repeat again, but at night, so getting the same match cuts. We ended up at the tree section at sort of sunrise, and it was just amazing. We were all having a little bit of a break after we'd done our sort of night shoots before we went into sort of the daytime section, and we could just see the sun hitting across the mountain and the valley across from us, and it was just a kind of a moment where everyone just stopped and just was silent and watched the sunrise and the light kind of come down the snowy mountain.
There's no doubt we couldn't have pulled off this project without two incredible riders in Ronan Dunn and Louise Ferguson.
We have really great relationships with so many different athletes. This is our first time working with Ronan, and he was amazing. He kind of just got stuck into whatever we asked him to do. Some of us have worked with Louise before, so it was nice to have her back on another project. And again, just like Ronan, she just got stuck into everything. And even though she was really tired from all the night riding, she just kept on going into that sort of daytime rock tree section. Especially there was a lot of pushing on that part of the track because it's a bit steeper and on the open hillside, and when the sun did rise it got really warm. So we'd have gone from wearing big thick puffy jackets for sort of -5, -10 degrees to wearing just t-shirts and jerseys, which was a bit of a challenge, bit of a temperature swing.
We had a feeling Mega by Day, Mega by Night was going to be good, but despite the challenging conditions that we had to shoot in, I think what we've put together is something really epic and encapsulates everything that we love about mountain biking.
I think the one word that could sum up the project would be chaotic. It was pretty mad from start to finish, trying to just get everything going, but overall it was just a really fun sort of experience, and being in places that we probably wouldn't have been able to go to had we not kind of pitched this concept originally, staying at 3,100 meters in an emergency chalet, shooting at night, kind of all the access that we were able to get from the location. It was just, kind of a bit of a dream come true.